St. Jimmy.
I'm the goodie.
And I'm LFG.
Thanks for joining us this week, LFG. Mr. Paul decided to go out of town. Very
Yeah, he did.
selfish of him, but
Out of town.
yeah.
I'm sorry. No, I don't do that. There we go.
Oh boy.
Everything sounds better when you put air quotes on it.
Yeah.
It looks better too.
Our fake sponsor
Air
this
quotes.
week is edible overalls for when you don't have time to stop for lunch.
Now in John Deere Green, International Red.
You know, just the other day I was out there combining the field and I got myself a little hungry, and so I just reached down and grabbed a hold of my shoes and just started eating. Oh no, sorry, my pant leg.
No wonder.
And they really come in handy because you don't have to do like laundry. You can just put them up on a plate, throw some gravy on it.
It's a good thing that you're farming strawberries, so your shoes taste good at least.
Yeah, when you get home, the kids run to see you.
Yeah,
because they're hungry.
You don't have to give them a Skittle out of your pocket. You just give your pocket. It's great.
So I had a weird walk at work the other day.
Was there a plank involved?
No. I walk weird at work all the time. What are you talking about?
It does.
No, I had to walk across to deliver a piece of paper across the site to this office that I'd never been to before, but it was in an area I knew. So I walked the way that I always walk down towards that area, but then I was walking down next to this building, looking ahead where I usually cut between to this other side, and it didn't look right. I was like, it just seems weird, so I kept going, got down there, and it was like blocked off for construction, so I had to backtrack a fair ways to cut through somewhere else. I felt weird cutting through.
There's a lot of stuff like that where you got to cut through right now.
So then I'm going, and there's this big curved road that goes right down to there, and it was blocked off. There was a big crane with people around, and they had it actually like caution taped off.
You guys actually walk in and out from I guess it would be the east entrance, right?
Yeah.
You guys see the werewolf when you come in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I saw that for the first time today. It freaked me out a little bit. I was riding on the bus.
Oh.
It's even better when it's dark out.
Yeah.
And you forget it's October.
Are the eyes glowing?
Do they glow?
I don't think so, but his badge, he does have a badge.
He does have a badge.
Werewolf on it.
It was rather funny when I noticed that.
Anyway, so the crane is blocked off, so I have to go around another route that I'm not used to, walking.
Did it try to sweep your leg?
No. But, so I finally get there, and I'm trying to find this office, and I have to go up these really loud metal stairs, and I get there to the door that has the number the guy told me, and it won't open. But I noticed some of the other offices, it had the number on 2 doors. So I went down to the next door, and it had the number, and that one I could go in.
I feel like I know exactly where you went.
It had like a big dial lock mechanism on the outside of the door. I was like, but it opened right up.
Those are the old school pods. There's a few of them out in the yard.
But so then I there's a guy standing at a desk right inside the door, and I'm like, he kind of glances at me and then looks away, and he's not doing anything. He's just
I love that.
Looking away from me.
Like
so I'm
awkward, like go to
hey, I'm supposed to drop this off, and he's like, oh, there's an inbox. So I just like throw it in the inbox and leave. I'm like, I hope that was the right office.
I was trying to find a mezzanine for a meeting.
Oh.
And I went to this building. I knew the building, and so I went in. I couldn't find anything like that. So I finally went over to where I knew somebody, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you have to go outside the building."
Oh.
And they come back in this outside door. I'm like,
"Oh yeah, it's horrible where we work. There's buildings where half the building is accessed through another door off of a different side of the building, and everybody will assign building numbers to things, and sometimes it's a broom closet attached to the backside of something else, or it's trailer houses that are stacked on top of things and buried behind something else. It's ridiculous. God forbid you should have to emergency evacuate an area. You wouldn't even know how to get out of the building.
Right.
Yeah. So I finally, for the trip back to my office, I was like, I'm just going to walk out to the main road and walk the long way around. And that worked out fine because I walk that way when I park on site with my, when I'm driving around and parked over there. But I thought everything was cool until I got to, there's a couple buildings that you walk under the overhang.
Yep.
And I come up behind a guy, and he's got in his hand a Mr. Pibb plastic, like 20-ounce bottle, but the liquid inside was bright green.
Oh, that's not good.
I was like, it looked like a super green version of Mountain Dew, like
I know what you're
brighter
talking
green
about.
than that.
That's not good.
I was like, first of all, what is it? Why is it in a Mr. Pibb bottle?
He was taking it to the pee test, maybe.
Well, they'll use bottles of stuff like that to run drills.
Oh yeah.
He was just carrying it down the sidewalk like it was like he was gonna drink it. I was like, am I in an alternate universe? I was expecting to get back to my office and my coworkers would be in opposite desks or something.
It's just like an alternate
We need to tell your
just
coworkers to
slightly.
do that to you someday.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would probably mess me up. That's like one of my fears is that,
You fear you're in an alternate universe?
yes, I actually think about that. Like, what if
You actually have, like, you worry that you're going to wake up in an Alfred Hitchcock flip world?
All of a sudden,
yeah, it gives.
pig women are more attractive.
Sometimes I'll be going somewhere and I'm like, what if I go in here and everything's just different? Or
Like all of a sudden,
What
everybody's
if-
different colored badge.
what
Your
if-
badge doesn't match?
I do that all the time. I walk in and I'm like, wow, this is nothing like I was expecting. And then I realize I'm in the wrong building.
well, what if I show up at D. Viddy's house for the podcast and he doesn't recognize me? He's
Like,
like,
could just be another head injury.
well, that's
I was playing football again.
I was this today actually.
You shouldn't be doing that.
The
You're going to end
scapula.
up with a bunch of plaques on your head.
This side was
You
it
go
this
crazy.
side.
He can't even remember what side he got hit on.
You must be taking good pain medication.
Nope, not me at all.
Okay.
You guys don't worry about that?
I have other worries, like that I'm in some kind of, I don't know, what's the movie with Neo and those people?
The Matrix.
The Matrix, there you go. Where no one else is real but me. You guys are all figments of my imagination or something.
Oh,
Or
we
a
are.
program running in your head.
Or something like that.
Do you ever worry that people can read your mind?
No. No,
Yeah,
Chance of
me
that.
neither.
I don't have that
based on
problem.
the reaction of what comes out of my mouth, I don't think there's a
You
good
don't need
chance
to.
Well, to be honest with you, I think you do need to worry because Mr. Pole knows exactly what
Well,
you're
yeah,
saying,
I mean,
usually.
we're obviously connected
Yeah.
somehow.
Two viewers.
Yeah, it's funny, even if, like, when he moved over here, before I moved over here, we didn't see each other very often, but stick us in a room and it's still sync
Finish.
up. It was weird.
I don't necessarily worry about that. I'm more worried, and I think it's based on my childhood, but I'm more worried that I'll walk into a building or place and a fight will just break out to beat me up or something.
Oh,
I'm more of fear, like, instant, like, dance mobs or whatever.
I do sometimes sit and, well, especially if I'm like trying to sleep.
Because then you don't know what you're doing, like, you don't know what
Oh,
dance
what
moves to
dance moves
make?
to do.
Yeah, it'd be really stressful.
Sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, I will just imagine a scenario where I have to get in a fight somewhere, and like I start feeling adrenaline. Like I gotta stop thinking about this. I don't. It's weird. Don't look at me like that. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I do
to
that too.
I don't disagree with I do occasionally have a problem when I'm trying to go to sleep that I'll start thinking about stuff and I'll get going, but never an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I'll actually.
My mind will get running and I'll start thinking about adding and subtracting stuff and stuff to do at
Oh,
work.
yeah, I do
and
that too. But sometimes
weird.
it's like, okay, what would I do if, I was walking down the sidewalk and, well, it's usually related to something that happened that could have gone that way, and I think, well, what if I had to like intervene and then fists start flying, or and I'll start like feeling like that fight or flight feeling.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, you do watch, like, Walking Dead right before you go to bed and
That's
stuff
true.
like that. So I'm not surprised.
I stopped watching it, Walking Dead, because it affected my ability to eat a lot of food.
I actually heard a doctor talking to somebody talking about anxiety. They're like, well, what do you do before you go to bed? And start listing off, like, well, watch ER and all these other things. Like,
Like Grand
you're
Theft
watching
Auto.
things that are activating that fight or flight response in you, and then trying to go to sleep. Yeah, that is your problem.
But your dreams are so much better.
I usually before I go to bed, I do calming
How do you know
things
that's
like
the dream?
watching people bungee jump and from GoPro cameras, of course.
Interesting.
How do you know that that's the dream? I can't even do that high pitched noise anymore. And it's being quiet again. I'm sorry. Sorry, was it Rob?
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry, Dad. He also has a problem.
I think you're the one with the problem.
No, two people. Rob and Dad.
So
Everybody
you're
else
saying that
thinks
they're
you're fine.
definitely in your frequencies?
Yeah.
That might be why my dad and I get along so well as a kid.
He
Can't hear you?
He can't hear me, so he thought I was being quiet.
Oh.
In reality, you were talking back to him the entire time?
Probably. No problem. Plus, I had small hands, so I could reach things he couldn't. Like, oh, we don't need to remove half that stuff. You can reach that, right, with the wrench? Sure, Dad.
I have different memories from working on stuff with my dad. We won't get into that.
I remember having anxiety when you tell me to go get a tool. I'd go in there and like, what is that tool?
Oh, I definitely.
So I
had
learned my
anxiety
tool
about
really
that.
quick. I learned the tools quick because I didn't want it. Come on, that's not a wrench.
That's a lollipop.
Yeah, I had the same experience, but when I brought it back, I didn't get a "come on, that's not a wrench." He'd like, "That's not it," and grab the wrench and slap my hand with it,
Oh.
and send me back for another one. And it would continue like that until I figured out what fractions were.
I remember when I accidentally spanned between the terminals on the battery on
Ooh.
accident.
That's a
And I actually saw my dad react not like angrily, but like concerned. I was okay. Probably because he was afraid my mom would kill him if he hurt me. Like when he took our dog hunting, because she was a hunting breed, and they shot a duck, threw her in the water, and she sank. So I pulled her back in the boat, and she's like, well, first he thought, oh no, she's going to kill me. I just killed the kid's dog. Then she came to the surface, and they pulled her in the boat, and she growled at them. If they came near her, she just like was in the corner of the boat, like, get away from me.
That's also how I learned
Honey, I
to
broke
swim.
the dog.
Go get the duck!
Have you ever watched the movie Sweet Home Alabama?
I've
Yeah.
seen parts of it.
There's a scene where he throws something in the water for the dog, and the dog jumps in the water but doesn't like come to the surface, just goes down and dies for it for a good 5 minutes in the scene. And finally, the dog pops up to the surface and crawls back up on the deck and lays down.
I like dogs in movies. My favorite
Dog.
dogs in movies are from Funny Farm with Chevy Chase. They keep on trying to buy a dog. The first one, they buy this red setter or something, and they open the door at the farm, and it just takes off.
Yeah.
And then occasionally through the movie, you'll see it run fast again. And then they got one that was so lazy that he like had to take its tail out of the fire because it was on fire.
That definitely sounds like a Chevy Chase humor.
But the favorite part, though, is when they first get there, he's going to carry his wife over the threshold. And he reaches down and unlocks the top half of a double door and like dumps her over on the floor. Which would happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't he end up having to bury one of the dogs?
Oh, I can't remember. Probably.
And he ends up digging something up in the yard. And
Yeah.
that was a funny movie.
I like the mailman in the movie. They're trying to stop him.
It better be funny if it has the word funny in the title.
That's true.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of movies that fail miserably at
Claim to be funny.
Yeah.
doing what they're.
Scary movie. That wasn't scary at all.
Yeah, it was. A little bit.
I was a little more. I don't know if I was scared so much as I got to the end scene and actually got sick.
I
It's too
don't
gross for
even
me.
remember it. So
Yeah, if I've seen it, it was a long time ago.
that was the only example of a movie that
In a county
some
far,
other
far away.
thing in the title that
This says funny?
didn't match.
You think I'm funny?
No.
Looking.
Smells and
I
everything.
wish I thought you were funny. I
Wish
When
you thought
you wish upon
upon
a star
DVD.
makes no difference. If you think I'm funny, I don't
Okay.
care.
I don't think it's working.
I don't think
No.
that's what I think about when I'm
Oh.
wishing on stars.
Did you read that funny pun on our alma mater's website? The one about I have a Polish friend that's a sound engineer.
Yeah.
I have a Czech one too. A Czech one too. I saved it. I read it, and then my cubemate was gone, so I copied and pasted it into a Word document on my desktop. So when he got back, I could do it.
He would probably really have appreciated
I
that.
thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Better than most of the ones I come up or get, usually from that
Yeah.
website.
All right. Should we go on to Nudiculture?
Let's do it.
Have you guys heard of the Justice League?
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
No, I have not heard of the Justice
Which
League.
they actually have a Hall of Justice in
They
San
should,
Francisco.
Oh,
Really?
In real life?
Yeah, their building is
They
called
call it the Hall of Justice?
Like,
Is there a Dome of
I
Doom
think
or whatever?
so.
What was the bad guys?
The Quarry of Sorrow. I don't
No,
know.
it's had Doom in the name, I think. There's a dome. It wasn't like a swamp, but it would come out.
Yeah, looked like, almost like Skeletor's
And
head or something like that.
There it is. The Hall of Justice.
it's 2 stars.
It only has 2 stars.
It's a Justice. How many courthouse is more than 2 stars?
15 Google reviews. No food, no cocktails.
Got sent to prison for
Lousy
5 years.
wireless.
Would not go again.
Is it a restaurant or is it actually like a
The
courthouse?
judge acted like a racist by rejecting someone's claim, but not accepting others.
Oh, they just do. They doesn't have to be racist. They do that to like people that drive.
So that they are talking about a judge, and yet somebody actually put down no food and no cocktails at the courthouse.
Lousy wine list. You guys probably on a jury. There's no wine list.
Here's a 1-star review. I never went there. I was just reviewing it for a school project, and all the reviews were bad, so I had to give it a bad review. They are all
like you
bad.
break the internet.
Somebody had to give it.
No
there's a
justice
2-star.
Here's 3-star.
Ooh, seems unnecessary since
Long
most of the
lines
tenants
between-
can already fly. Watch out for the invisible jet when you're landing.
This is good.
Oh,
Someone 5 minutes ago gave it 5 or 4 stars.
5 months ago. Translated by Google. It was originally in French. So this translation is horrible. On the traces of the series murder in the first.
This guy gives it 5 stars.
AA.
AE, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, neither one of you can read that screen, can you?
My distance vision isn't as good as it used to be. A local guide gave it 2 stars. What the heck?
J.J. Egbert Jr. gave it 4 stars.
I wonder if other
Nice.
like courthouses get similar reviews.
I don't know.
Or
Probably
if it's just
not.
because of the name of that one.
Oh, here's 1 star. No justice at all at this place.
Yao Fu.
This place was not like the Hall of Justice in the movie Young Justice on Netflix. 1 star.
Because it wasn't like the movie. It still didn't live up to its billing.
Oh, that is funny.
What?
This is an actual picture of the building itself, other than just part of the facade.
That's
Probably.
or is that-
architectural.
That's actually the picture.
Weird.
Oh, so it's just
None
Yeah,
of
they're
the
right.
pictures
It looks
look
nothing
same
like the Hall
building.
of Justice.
these all do.
Oh, there you go.
What's
that
the
actually-
other Hall of Justice look like? Maybe
It's
show
a very
side by
square,
side.
very plain building, but it's kind of cool looking.
It's probably in the 20s. Then what was the bad guys one? I wonder what.
Oh, that doesn't look anything like
It's
the Hall of
similar. It's
Justice.
got
It's kind
No,
of
it's not.
rectangular though.
I should build that in Minecraft.
Yeah, sure. Images.
That's a nice looking building.
He's just not going to look up the other bad guy stuff for you, man.
Oh. Justice League bad guys.
Yeah, building.
Building.
They're called the Doom.
There.
Well, that's all
what
the
the
bad guys.
Nope. Try
Legion
again.
of Doom.
Legion of Doom. The Guion of Doom. Means yeah, it's an expert.
You guys are not
Charge.
wrestling fans, are you?
No.
Because Legion of Doom is they actually took that and was using that in WWE for a while.
No, I stopped watching when
And
it
then
was
they called it. Then there was the Legion of Boom.
the
That was the
WWF
Seahawks,
was what I
yeah.
watched.
Defense. Okay, so the Justice League is the DC Comics version of the Avengers.
Now all the DC comic people are going to
I
email in. The
thought
Avengers
Justice
is
League
the
came before
DC
Avengers.
What?
I think Justice League came before Avengers, so the Avengers are the version of the Justice League.
I'm just talking about cinematically.
Oh,
Oh, well, yeah.
I don't know about comic
So-
books.
anything.
Justice League actually did it differently than Marvel did, and they actually signed up for 4 phases right off the bat because of the popularity of the phasing movie things.
Yeah, but you still have to have a
Okay.
good movie.
Hall of Doom is their base.
Because I think really the only DC movies that have
What do you
been
see
really successful have been Batman ones, right?
It is
Wonder
the Hall of
Woman.
Doom.
So I guess that's recent. So
Yeah, but besides that, like Green Lantern didn't do very well.
Well, yeah, but if you watch it, it's like the Jar Jar Binks of the superhero movies.
I didn't watch it,
It
so
was
Like Green Hornet, is that?
the original Superman.
the Green Hornet wasn't that bad.
I own that one.
I haven't seen that either.
I'm not sure Seth Rogen was the correct
No, I don't think so.
character for that.
I could never see him.
Kato
as
was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
Kato was really good.
So there's the Flash, Wonder Woman, Batman,
Aquaman,
Aquaman,
and there's a
and maybe Superman.
well, no, there's like another one.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, it's
Chitara. I think
The Riddler? Oh, those
no,
are
it's
bad
like a
guys.
Meteor Man or Atomic Man or something like that. I can't.
it's Miss Marvel.
So are we talking about the movie or just in general?
I was
Well, in
talking about the
general-
movie.
In general, there's
Oh,
more.
did they have more in the movie?
Well, there's. I don't
The
know
Flash?
what part of
Did
these
you say the Flash?
windows.
Hit back on this one.
Did you say the Flash?
The Flash.
Yes, the Flash.
So I watched a couple seasons of The Flash on Netflix.
I didn't even get that far. I got halfway through the first season.
It's just so poorly. I mean, it was okay, but there was so many. You have to hit continue the article over there. Or I'll just do it this time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Cyborg.
Cyborg. There you go. He was in Teen Titans as well,
Really?
or Teen. What are they
See,
called?
was he
Justice.
in the cartoon Justice League cartoons when we were kids? Because I don't remember him.
I don't know. I don't remember.
And I lived in an area where comic books didn't exist. You
No, not that like the really old school one where they
Yeah.
meanwhile. No, I don't
Back
think
in
he was
the-
in there.
okay, that's why I don't remember. Because that's all I was exposed to as a kid, being growing up in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't get comic books because it seemed like a waste of money for as much story as you got, which was like nothing.
Well, we didn't even look at it that way. It was just there was no way my parents were going to buy comic books instead of food.
Oh yeah. We
Although,
saved up and bought
Strangely
G.I.
enough, both
Joes.
items were sold at the same location, the grocery store.
That's
That's the only place you could buy comic books where I grew up.
That's interesting.
And
What aisle were they on?
they were they were
With the
in
magazines.
they were in the registers right underneath the
Oh.
Archies in all
Oh, yeah, they
usually in
used to
one
always have Archies,
one little
yeah.
rack, and you had to take whatever they had and
Usually it's just Archie's and then not much else.
word searches, and then
Right.
there was like a couple comic books all stacked together at the bottom row. for us.
I'm really bad at this talking to the mic thing.
I do like the fact that the Flash in this picture looks like Sheldon were getting ready to run.
Yeah, it does.
So they didn't use the same actor for the Flash as in the TV show.
No,
No,
which I'm fine with.
this has nothing to do with the TV show universe. I don't think.
Okay. Which is weird because the Marvel
Why is
ones.
why is he blind?
Aquaman?
Is he blind?
He's not blind. He's just
He
He's
doesn't have any
controlling
eyeballs.
fish.
he's got cloudy eyeballs.
Doesn't that usually mean you're blind?
He just
Usually,
has
but it doesn't-
cataracts.
100%.
Oh, so you just look at the side of
Maybe his eyes.
Hey,
go-
at least he looks good instead of being a joke like he was in the whole Justice.
Now, did you ever watch the what's that Superman in high school TV show? Smallville. You ever watch that?
A little bit.
No.
Aquaman showed up in that.
Oh,
Really?
in Smallville? Isn't that kind of
Yep.
far from any?
There's a lake. There's a swimming pool at the high school.
He doesn't have to like live in water. He's not
Oh.
not like a mermaid. It's just he
I don't know much
prefers
about
to be in
Aquaman.
water. The trailers of them coming across Aquaman underwater was actually kind of cool looking. I thought they did a good job with those scenes. I obviously haven't seen the movie yet or anything else, but
Oh, that's their names right there.
I will say that
Well, that wasn't on the screen until just
Oh.
now.
I'm actually kind of hoping. I want to see the movie, not so much because of the rest of the Justice League, but I just want to see Ben Affleck play Batman again. I thought he did a great
I
job.
thought he did a good job too. I think we're the only two in the universe that thought he did a good job.
Oh.
When he was like doing his workout stuff, he's like ripped.
I
I thought
haven't
he was really
seen
good.
him play Batman yet.
You haven't seen the Batman versus Superman?
No. Should I?
You should,
Yeah.
yeah, you should come over.
I was
see.
planning to.
I bought it, so
Oh, you
bought
did?
it?
yeah,
Looking
digital
at
copy
it?
on
Looking
Audio.
at it? Oh, jeez.
Oh,
I'm fine with that.
should do a movie night.
We also need to watch our next
I will
TV
warn
movie.
you though, that movie
Yeah.
really should have been 3 movies. There was
They
3
kinda
different
crammed it
plots
together.
going on, or
Yeah.
at least 3 different plots going on, and they jammed stuff together.
That's
There were
seems
like entire scenes in the movie.
lazy
It's
to
like,
me.
what was the point
They
of that
wanted to
scene?
strike on Justice League while the iron was hot with like bringing teams together.
Yeah.
So they just made that movie quickly to.
Well,
well,
I think
set
because
this
it was
up.
Batman and Superman, everybody was trying to get involved. Like when they first rebooted the Star Wars series, and everybody wanted to get their own version of Star Wars worked in. I think there was the same thing with the Batman Superman. Everybody wanted to get their creative interest in it, and so there was way too many plots going on for that movie to
Is it just
coherently
me,
make
or
100% sense.
does it seem like the Flash is the equivalent characters like Spider-Man in Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay. They both wear red.
Yes.
Does red
And
imply?
I'm not 100%, but
youngness?
I consider Batman to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman is Captain America.
Yeah. What's
Very much so.
Aquaman?
Strangely enough, Wonder Woman makes a better guy
Iron
than
Man?
Captain America does.
Oh yeah.
I like Captain America.
Cyborg's Iron Man? I would have thought Iron Man was Superman.
Thor.
Thor's got to be Aquaman.
Well, see, I don't know what his
He
character
controls
is
lightning.
like.
Yeah, so I'm talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Attitude-wise or ability-wise? You're talking about how they.
I was like, yeah.
What
I
their
was thinking
character is in.
The image that I'm receiving
Yeah,
versus their abilities.
Right. It's not their
Which is
abilities.
why I threw Wolverine in there in the middle of you guys talking about all the Marvel stuff.
Yeah. Well, Wolverine's Marvel.
Yeah, but he's not part of the
Avengers.
yet.
They should totally do that. So I think they do different
There are
universes.
comics where they cross.
You know,
over.
honestly,
Like comics for everyone.
as much as I really like Wolverine, I'm tired of hearing about Logan.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm over Logan.
I think they've beaten that character to death.
Yes.
Literally.
And I feel
And
like
not
they
literally,
ran.
'cause it wasn't near water.
They really rushed through Xavier instead of developing Xavier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, they kind of did when they went to the flashback, but I wanted to see the later years where he was really the actual powerhouse that he was.
It would have been nice if they did some X-Men movies where, like, the whole team was getting destroyed, end of the world stuff, but like a
They go on
movie.
vacation.
They're like
they go to New York or
X-Men in New York.
in between these three things where the world was completely destroyed. This is them actually doing
what they
their
do.
normal
Yeah,
stuff daily.
like you start seeing the cartoons a little bit.
That's what I'm kind of hoping the Justice League's gonna be like that, because the whole premise of the Justice League at the beginning was, it wasn't just they come together to defeat one thing that was going to destroy the world, and then they all went back to separate
So it'd
ways.
be fun with seeing that, but I'd like to see like the Star Trek method where you have TV shows with the characters and then they're in movies for bigger things. Then you have the normal stuff
That's
in the
true.
TV show. That'd be good.
Star Trek was more, they did the series, and then after the series was over, they did movies.
Yes,
They
but the
could do
movies
that
are set around the series chunks, so it's not.
I think they should mix them.
Although, be careful with the whole Star Trek thing, because apparently we've decided we're going to destroy that universe. So
I'm ignoring the new one.
yeah,
It's the
I'm
fabric
watching
of their
Orville
reality is coming apart.
Orville's a better Star Trek than
Star Trek.
Star Trek now.
That's funny. I really wanted to watch the Orville, but I missed the first one, so I don't want to start.
I think
watching
if you
it.
go back, you can watch on, is it on Fox?
Yeah, it's Fox. It's not CBS.
On their website.
On their website.
Yeah, I think because I have DirecTV, I can watch it like the next day. Everyone else watches them a week late, but they're on there.
I'll have to do that.
Although this week we don't get an episode because they did 5 episodes and then apparently we need to take a week off. But I guess they have to do that because they don't have as many episodes in the can as other TV shows that are in the same season.
Well, yeah, they only generally the first year isn't a full purchase. They don't
I think
buy
it's
22 to
13
24 episodes. They usually buy half season to see how it goes.
I really like it. I think it's great. I like the comedy in it. It's not as Seth Rogen-y as I usually picture.
Seth MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane, sorry. Just too many Seths.
I agree with you there.
He was also correct.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
It wasn't Seth Rogen.
I have a hard time with Seth MacFarlane, so that's why I haven't started watching it. But
and it's not like, well, I read this. I actually got accepted to their Facebook group page. But you have to get accepted.
Did you get a pin?
I didn't.
Do you have a certificate you can put on the wall here in the Enginerdy Show?
I could request one. That's a good idea. I'm going to get on there and request one. Although some of the posts on there are like
embossed certificate.
So there's an episode where the bad guys that they've set up are going to wipe out a whole colony of people. And so they're figuring out a way to kill the crew of the bad guys that are on their way with this big super weapon. And someone's like, they thought that was mean. It's like, what? mean? They were about to go kill a whole colony of 200,000 people.
We as a society have had it way too easy for the last few years.
Wow.
We have lost touch
Apparently.
with reality of survival. We have.
But
And-
you can definitely tell with Orville, they are trying to touch on current event type psychological, or what do they call that? Sociological issues, which like old Star Trek.
Wait, you're telling me Star Trek was controversial?
Yeah.
The first interracial kiss?
Like one of the episodes of Orville, they have a character that their entire race is men, basically. But then they find out that actually there's a really small percentage that are born female, but they do a surgery on them to convert them
to men.
Yes. And so the crew is like, no, we're not going to let you do that to this new baby. It happens to it anyways. They get overruled by the whatever that planet's judicial system or something.
Was it the Hall of Justice?
It might have been the Hall of Justice in
That
space.
would be funny.
In space.
The Space Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, in the Space Hall of Justice.
I've been trying to think of a name for this room that starts with Hall of. Oh, now it's stumped.
Yeah.
I've brought the show to a grinding
Yeah, you
halt.
The Hall of Enginerdies.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Nerdicus.
If anything, call it the Hall of Puns.
The Hall of Puns.
Yeah.
It needs to have a pun in it, though.
We need to add more decorations.
Well, I was thinking of writing it on the board.
Once I finish, now that I've watched the show, I decided I should probably go on YouTube, and then we can see what the lines are of what would be visible. And
Yeah.
then actually,
It's all visible. It's just kind of fished out a little
Decorate.
bit more. It isn't nearly as narrow looking as it is in real life.
right.
It can almost touch.
Both walls.
Both
I
walls.
probably might maybe be able to. But
And
since I
those
built my
people
shed,
watching at home now think you have really long arms.
like Stretch Armstrong
They're really actually just normal size.
with Action Man eyes.
We're going to talk about
That works
Action
better
Man
if you
later.
look that way when you do it.
That was a creepy video.
Thank you. Thank
Any,
you very much.
any other thoughts on Justice League? You
See-
can go see it in the theater?
I'll see it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
going to
sure
see it
if-
in the theater.
I don't
If I
see
get
anything
time.
in this
I know
theater.
you
So.
don't. I'm thinking about going to the
Probably
theater tomorrow.
I kind of wish like Netflix and Amazon Prime, they have commercials occasionally when you're looking at them. I wish they would show movie trailers. I wish the movie companies would
That'd
put
be
their
good.
movie trailers there, because I don't watch regular TV very much
You know-
anymore,
you know
and
where
I
I see
almost
'em?
never watch.
YouTube. Occasionally I've seen
not-
movie trailers on YouTube.
Yeah, and then you can go to movietrailers.com and everything like that. But
No, I mean before one of my YouTube videos, they'll
see,
put a commercial.
I see the purple mattress ones and the purple mattress cover one. Those things are hilarious.
Have
Have you
you
seen the
The
purple?
Bigfoot one?
No, have you seen the
Oh,
one
yeah.
with the girl from Studio C where they're doing the egg test?
No, I haven't seen that
You
one.
just check that one
A
out.
lot of those
That's funny,
commercials
too.
I skip as soon
But
as I can.
the
but
Bigfoot one is obviously the
Yeah,
funniest.
we talked
The
about that
Bigfoot one, yeah,
the
I
show.
skipped a bunch of times. Then after the show, I finally watched it. It was pretty funny. I liked
The-
it a lot.
One of the girls from Studio C, they were doing an egg drop test, and that was pretty good.
That would be funny. They're funny people over there.
And that's nerdiculture.
Nice. We didn't talk about Weekend at Martha's.
Oh,
Since Superman's dead, they gotta include him in the action, so they gotta drag his corpse around.
oh yeah.
Like a Weekend in Burns.
I almost said carcass, but that's more for animals.
They
But
use
he's
him
not
as
human, so
a
it
shield.
yeah, because he's invincible, right?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Just pick Superman up, put him back down. It's even stronger than
Throw me
Captain
Superman!
America's steel.
Like they're passing back and forth wherever they need him in the action. Open his
Ragdoll
eyes so he can
flying
shoot
across,
his laser
Beat
vision.
somebody with him.
pick him up by his cape, swing around, and throw him at the enemy.
What material is that cape made out of? Like, come on.
That's just like his entire suit. I'm like,
Yeah, you think it's
Superman's indestructible. What about the clothes he's wearing?
it
How
must
did
be
that
like the
happen?
lowest friction fabric ever, because flying through the atmosphere should just like rip it off, right?
Yeah, it should shatter it like.
And that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
You see, like
Literally.
Well, and he has,
flags on crabbing boats and stuff like that. They get really tattered just from the wind,
yeah.
Yeah.
and that's only 60 miles an hour at
And
the
if you're
most.
flying fast enough to travel in time, think how fast that would be, how much
Yeah.
friction there would be.
And you're getting shot with bullets and stuff.
But I
and it
guess
doesn't hurt your outfit.
maybe he went outside the atmosphere because of that reason. He didn't want to lose his suit.
Oh, maybe. Because he has that decency.
Well, even just
clause.
flying in the atmosphere, you look at re-entry of the shuttle going whatever speed,
Yeah.
he'll take off and boom, next thing you know, he's in France like that. So he's got to be traveling.
You know, I think in
And
some,
of course, they never really talk about
High
sonic
Nox.
booms per se or anything else.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think in some Superman lore, there's actually stuff in the craft with him,
And they
which
make
maybe
the
it's a
suit out of
suit.
that.
Or it was. I mean, you look at his dad on the planet; he had similar
Yeah.
style, you might say.
And who knows? Maybe he can, quote unquote,
The
fabricate
whole
it at his
planet where they
lair.
wear
But
their underwear
Oh, yeah.
outside their pants.
Yeah, they do.
Cool.
I did that when I was a kid. I was going as a superhero, so I wore my socks over my shoes and got some colored underwear to wear on the outside of your.
I think that's too much information. TMI.
I was a
Your
kid.
St. Patrick's Day celebrations do not need to be discussed.
It's
on the
actually
show.
Columbus Day.
You celebrated Columbus Day?
Do you have a Columbus Day costume?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he dressed as
Strangely
a
enough, it
Spanish
looked almost
explorer.
exactly the same as my everyday costume.
Yeah.
Weird.
I dressed as an electrical engineer.
Got a wild look in your eye
Yeah, I looked kind of crazy.
and smoke coming out of your ears.
That's not how I would describe electrical engineering. It looked a little bit more boring than normal.
Mm.
That's what I would.
All the ones I met were just a little off.
Yeah.
They make mechanical engineers look like the life of the party.
All engineers make mechanical engineers look like the life of the party.
Yeah.
Mechanical engineers are, for the most part, the most outgoing, or at least
Everyone
the most
knows.
prone to drinking alcohol.
Civil engineers are the friendliest. It's right there in the name.
Yeah, we're rather civil.
Although a lot of the civil engineers I've worked with have been pretty heavy drinkers.
Some of them have been. I wouldn't say a lot of them have been. In my
One of the
experience.
ones I work with. Except for-
There's definitely drinkers in the group, but mechanical engineers are the ones that are actually more likely to have a party.
Interesting.
All right, for Technergy, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. I had to make sure I said the right words because I told my wife what I was going to talk about, and
You were talking about cows?
she was expecting
sheep and-
a different word to come out of my mouth.
Shoulder-length gloves?
No. Artificial intelligence. So,
Starts the night too, doesn't it?
Are you inseminating cows?
Yeah.
Artificial insemination.
AI.
Okay.
not recently. I've seen it done, though.
Oh no, I lost my watch!
Artificial is very important in that.
You know, it's
Sorry,
a lot
Mom.
easier to just install a window.
Sorry, Mom.
So, a while back, they made computers decades ago that
It did?
could beat people in chess.
Chess, yes.
Oh.
But the big thing was winning at the game Go.
How about if they could ever make one that won at football? Then we're in trouble.
That would make,
Scary.
yeah, that would be different.
The game Go.
Let's go.
It's a Chinese game where you have a board and you have black and white tiles.
That's sorry.
I thought that was Othello.
Yeah.
It's probably similar to Othello. I don't know how it's played, but that was considered the game that computers would never, or it would take a lot of time before computers got better at it than humans. That was like the big goal for AI, was to beat humans at Go.
You could probably beat me at Go pretty easily.
Probably. Well, they did it a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
They came up with a computer called AlphaGo, and it beat.
It beat DVD at Go 2 years ago?
Yes.
He's never played the game.
Well, they didn't tell him.
Can't beat me at Hungry Hungry Hippos, though. I'm really good at Hungry Hungry Hippos.
No, it beat some world champion Go player. And
They
then-
have world champion Go players?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like
just
an
like we have
ancient
world
game.
champion chess and backgammon and everything else.
it just happens to be a game you've
We
never
just don't.
heard of.
Yeah, it's just a game you've never heard of.
So DeepMind is a Google-owned company. They bought it for like $500 million or something a while
They're
back.
centered out of the water.
It's a lot of dollars.
Hotel and-
But they came up with AlphaGo, and they beat humans at Go, and then other people came up with computers that could do it. But
But can those computers beat the original computer? Because now humans should be
So-
out of the race. Because
there is now the latest one is called AlphaGo Zero, and it can beat any other computer Go player.
and human.
And
AlphaGo
humans.
0. Is that what comes after the AlphaGo 1 and the AlphaGo 360?
Yes.
Okay.
It is Microsoft after all.
No, it's Google.
Oh,
Oh.
So what they did though with this one that made it special is they only taught it the rules and then let it play
To figure its
to
own
figure out
strategies
the best strategy instead of teaching it all of the human showing it a bunch of human games so it can figure out what the humans.
That's how you get really creepy. Is you start putting computer programs without giving them enough rules, and they start making up their own lingo. And
so
language.
it really is intelligent enough to learn from its own actions.
Yes. So what it was doing initially was playing against itself, and it came up with good strategies.
Spent all this money to get computers to play it themselves.
And then they pit it against the other computers, and it just cleaned the floor with them.
Okay, so
bots too.
So
just get one.
We're only what 1 year, 2 years from Skynet.
Well, that's the thing they're talking about. They do this so that they can expand into other. The cool thing about this was that it taught itself. So they're saying we can give it more problems like protein folding problems that it can just. You don't have to set up the basic structure. You can just give it the problem, and it can figure out how to learn
how to take over a manufacturing plant to start making more of itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And replicate.
Right.
But can we at least get to something helpful folding, like fold my socks or sheets?
Well, once it gets
fitted sheets, if it can do a fitted sheet,
once it gets proteins down, then I'm sure it can do fitted sheets.
If you can fold my burrito, I'm good.
Ooh.
I guess that's really a rolled thing, but
yeah. So this is interesting development.
Depends on how much stuff you have in it.
Yeah, sometimes you put too
and how
much
warm,
in it.
whether the shell is cold
rolling,
and
but
dry.
if it, right, but if
because you microwave the shell for a little bit,
it'd be like folding.
Yeah.
Or if you steam the shell, you could really get stuff in it.
Actually, my mom's homemade burrito shells. I love to just eat them. I just fold them.
Your mom actually made her own burrito shells?
Tortillas, yeah.
Yeah, she makes them from
tortillas.
scratch.
Get it right.
They are,
well, her name is Juanita.
Oh.
They are paper.
Mom's name is Juanita?
Yeah. They're full size, like paper thin tortillas. They are the bomb.
They're yummy.
In fact, my wife tried to make them when we were first married.
Yeah,
they turned into gorditas, and they were like looked like Africa. But it's like they still taste good. But she wouldn't make them anymore.
Gorditas are I can't eat gorditas.
There's a lot of things you can't eat though. So
yes, there are a lot of.
I wouldn't judge it too harshly on that.
Yeah. Although I have told people repeatedly that I will take a couple of days off from work and sequester myself so that nobody has to put up with what happens to me after I eat food. Just to eat your wife's scones, right? They were scones, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
She hasn't made those in a while. I'm gonna have to hit her up.
Maybe we should talk her into making them for the movie
I don't
night.
think you should hit your wife.
Hit her.
Yeah, you probably should hit her up.
I already talked about that. Never mind. I was going to see how disappointed I was that the hospital didn't question Tracy at all.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
You really are hurt about that.
I am. Sexism much.
So the other part of this AI discussion is the Google now has a ethics and
you just said Google now.
Google currently.
That's our next upgrade.
Google recently developed.
That's another.
Okay, Google.
They started a team of ethics
purchase burrito shells. Yes.
For artificial intelligence, because they're thinking, these are going to be. Here's two scenarios that were the main points. The National Health Society or whatever, NHS over in Britain, they gave a bunch of medical records to an AI company so they could try and figure out a disease better, but they inadvertently broke some privacy laws.
Yeah.
So the problem is the privacy rules are really complicated and hard to understand, and the computer programmers didn't understand them. So they...
Oh. Well, that's not artificial intelligence.
It wasn't the computer's fault. It's just saying that's why we need the ethics board to help sort some of that stuff out, because they're humans.
Yeah.
It's not a computerized ethics board.
But
that'd be funny.
So I do like where you're going with that, though. Artificial intelligence looking at trying to cross.
They were looking at some kidney disease, and they thought that the computer could help them diagnose it better.
Yeah, and that was what I was trying to get at, is looking at the symptoms, being able to look at a true history and follow the symptoms on a complex scale that would be affected by other things, and so that you could easily have them hidden. And because, as I said, with my gluten allergy, which for those that don't know, it affects my emotional stasis. I'm pretty sure that's actually pretty rampant across the world, where people have difficulties where their emotions are affected by the food they eat, but they don't know it because nobody even looks at it, and it's such a mild and hard to identify and time delayed situation that unless you truly stop something, you'll never know that something's happening.
Yeah.
But it's such a complex thing that I can see where AI would definitely work better at diagnosing those weird diseases or subgrouping things and then starting to show the patterns.
Yeah.
So that we can recognize them.
Right. Exactly. Thank you.
As long as they don't use it for taking over the world.
Well, the other main point of the Ethics Society is armed autonomous vehicles used in military applications that can decide for themselves what target to take out. That is...
You know what's going to happen? Immediately you're going to go after all the chess players and all the Go players to protect their status of being unbeaten. These are our biggest threat. Kill them!
Have they not watched any movie in the last 30 years?
No, they haven't.
Well,
some people have. Like Elon Musk is very concerned about this.
Yes.
As are a lot of other futurists. And people are saying this is dangerous, what we're doing here.
We don't need to give AI weapons. That just... It's bad enough when we're going to have AI flying planes that can crash into buildings.
It's going to happen. So...
What do they call that? It's called the... there's a word for it.
Extinction event?
No.
End of humanity?
Singularity?
Singularity, there you go.
When computers no longer need humans?
Yes.
I thought a singularity was a void thing in space.
Some people are like, it's going to be a good thing. It means people won't have to work
It's one of those
anymore.
words that has multiple definitions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I hate those words.
Like that?
Sure. Yeah, so they want to make sure that it's implemented properly.
Autonomous killing robots? I hope so.
Or
really screwed up on that one.
whether
Sorry,
it's implemented at all.
So even if you take the Skynet part of it out of it, I mean, look at the old RoboCops. That should be that alone should tell them to stop. No,
they should take all these killing robots, put them on the moon, let them fight each other, but have like cameras or something the video back. It'd be like BattleBots, but
now we're into nerd culture because BattleBots showed up in nerd culture.
Yeah.
I love BattleBots.
Or what they
could turn the moon into just one big arena.
Yeah,
one big arena. Yeah.
Or we could just simulate war, and then however many people you kill,
you just put them in
just get random citizens and incinerate them.
Like
why would you even incinerate them? Just have everybody put a chip in their head, and as the game progresses and people drop off, people just drop dead.
You're just at work, your coworker just dies. You're like,
oh, must be the war.
Casualty of war. What can you do? I think that would be worse than actually fighting.
Can we start with the political?
I feel like that should be a Black Mirror episode or something.
Well, it was an original Star Trek episode
where people just started.
Well, no, that was where they were putting him in the incinerator.
No, I take the incinerator. I think Black Mirror should do that, where people just randomly drop dead at work.
Yeah.
Or walk down the sidewalk and just.
I have some people at work I would. No,
that's not random though.
That's true. That's true.
And believe me, we've all thought that.
That's Technerdy.
I'm worried now because I work with some of you. Talk louder.
No.
I was talking to myself.
Oh.
And now for the news.
The news! So, alligators eat things.
Yeah, they are.
Some of those things happen to be sharks.
Oh, really?
Yes. Huh. There's actually a news article from the late 1800s.
That's the next Sharknado movie now, right?
The 1800s, apparently there was a big storm that caused the salt water and the tributary water to mix a lot. And people reported seeing vast groups of alligators and sharks fighting.
Whoa.
Because they're intermixing. But yeah, they've actually did a study where they took large alligators and got the contents of their stomach out and found sharks.
That must have been fun.
All right, I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie before, but I don't think they were called alligators. Weren't the sharks supposed to fight somebody else in West Side Story?
Yeah, the Jets.
Oh.
The football Jets. No.
We're going to recreate this. Get the football team, the Jets, and put them in a tank with sharks.
Everyone already knows that sharks, even though they're saltwater animals, can go up into fresh water.
Yeah, yeah.
People have died because they've been killed by sharks.
Whatever that's called when the fish can go into both.
And
like salmon can.
It seemed like logic to me after I was reading this biologist talking about that basically the animal, when they meet another animal, their predator,
Yeah.
they don't know the difference between predator and prey except for what's bigger than them.
Or they attack something that looks dangerous.
Right. And then, so if an alligator is bigger than a small shark, it will eat said shark. But if there's a shark that meets a small alligator, it will eat the small alligator. Which I was like, well, that makes sense.
You realize you're bigger than a shark, you're going to eat the shark?
Yeah.
Yummy.
Come here.
I really want to test that theory and put like a 3-foot shark in his truck one day just to see if he'll eat it.
They actually had a picture of on this
All I have
article
to do is wait it out.
of an alligator with a small shark in its mouth, like eating it. So,
well, alligators will eat just about anything.
oh yeah.
There was a story just a week or so ago about some guy was too close to the edge of water in Florida, and an alligator jumped up to bite him, and he's like 90 years old. Got him on the shoulder, and the guy started punching the alligator in the eye, and got the alligator to let him go. But
His name was Crocodile Dundee.
No.
He's probably 90 now.
He might be.
Paul Hogan or the character?
Paul Hogan's is probably 70 at least.
Paul Hogan. I was thinking more of the guy.
That's the way for you to check.
Stingray, but
no, alligators also eat stingrays. Another manta rays. So they eat pretty much anything that they can get their mouth on.
that doesn't surprise me. An alligator really does strike me as an animal that'll eat just about anything.
Hey, 78.
78 years old. Oh, 1939.
Wow.
That was the year you were born.
Yeah, I look a little bit younger than him.
That's not a youngster.
It's nice when somebody asks me if I am the twin of my brother that's 6 years younger than me.
Well, I get to experience people call.
You do look closer to him than the other two brothers.
When I tell people how long I've been married, I do it just so I can get a young-looking compliment. Wow, you look way too young to be married for that long. Just looking for compliments.
He does that. He does that a lot.
Why is
Compliment me
Paul
more, I don't have
Hogan
to do it.
famous?
What?
It's a question on here.
Because of these movies.
Yeah.
I forgot about Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles.
So wait, he has actually in other movies
What?
other than Crocodile Dundee movies?
Yeah, he was in Lightning
Apparently.
Jack. Remember that? He plays the same character.
Almost an angel.
Almost.
Weird.
Almost.
If you want to support the show, tell a friend about it, and go to EngineerdyShow.com and click the Amazon.com link to do your Christmas shopping
You
this
could buy groceries there.
season.
I keep forgetting
Really?
to do that.
My wife just did.
It's
Big
easy.
box
Just
of-
do it once, bookmark it,
I did, but
and use your bookmark.
that would require me to remember bookmarks exist on my page.
No.
Yes.
They keep changing the way that all the web browsers do the bookmarks and shortcuts and
Yeah.
everything else, and it just drives
Yeah,
me
it's kind of
nuts.
annoying, isn't it?
It's
You know,
very
for
much
10
so.
years
It's like,
it's
come on,
been
guys,
the
come up with a
same, and
standard here.
And they'll do it differently.
Every single one of them. The star on this one means this, but the star on that one actually takes you to this weird
Yes.
webpage that you don't want to be at. And this star is your settings. What the?
It's like a Dr. Seuss with the stars and no stars.
No,
I give it
I-
1 star.
Why is the home, Justin?
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Back at your internet browser.
oh, so we're gonna go.
Consumption.
That
What
was
have
a
you guys
weak one.
been watching
That
this
was
week?
weak.
I might have been weak, but it's probably better on the ears of the people listening.
Yeah.
Probably. Was it very loud?
Sometimes you guys get pretty loud, yeah.
Sometimes the coughing is
Gotta
overdone.
mute the TV or something.
Well, they said I was too quiet, so I should cough louder.
No.
I should talk louder.
The only thing you ever do that's really, really loud is open your soda can.
I only had. This is the last one.
There was
Uh-oh.
it got to be a habit there for a while with the show. You'd go through the Enginerdy Show tagline, and then you'd hear you open up your soda.
Yeah.
I was doing it on purpose for a while, up next to the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that.
It's
Well,
a sound
Any-
effect.
Where we at?
Consumption.
Consumption.
Yeah.
So
Consumption. I doesn't do much good for me to really get into consumption because nobody knows what the heck I do normally anyway. But I have been reading quite a few books lately. The Duchess of Terra series, the TFC series, and
Duchess of Terra?
yeah, Duchess
Oh,
of Terra. Those are pretty good.
and the fried chicken.
And I
Series.
just finished another series, and I can't remember what the name of it is at this point.
I can tell it made a big impact on you.
It's like Homeworld. It's a B.B. Larson series, and although I enjoy reading B.B. Larson's books because they're not too in depth, and he has some good topics in it. His actual writing style bugs me a little bit because it's a little too loose, a little too convenient, a little too situationally. It's kind of a little. I guess you could say it's a little sloppy. I've heard people refer to it that way. I don't necessarily consider it sloppy because the guy took the time to actually write the book, which I have never actually done myself. But well, the thing is, he's written 2 series now that I've read, in which he's talking about militaries, and he knows something about the military, but he doesn't necessarily understand how military ranks. And it's like Captain Kirk starts off as the lowest officer, and 3 minutes later he's running the ship. No, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't at all work that way.
So the captain just can't pick a random person to take over when he leaves?
This series was a little better. The guy actually went through a more rank structure and increase, but I still think he doesn't quite understand ranks of military and how some things work. And
if he's the only other command officer on the ship.
But the good one, the interesting thing about this one is, trying to tie into your stuff, is the premise behind the World series, which I think is Homeworld, and there's Stealth World and Tech World and a few of them, is the humans are more like a mercenary group at the beginning of it. We are providing to the galactic whole the services of a mercenary, and that's what we provide to the group. And the legionnaires that we send out to fight go out with a regeneration machine. So they go out and they fight and they die, and we just regenerate their body, download their
like Cylons.
Their intellect back to them and send it back out to fight again. And there's rules and laws and stuff about how you can't have copies and this and that, and cloning is not allowed. But basically, you just keep regurgitating the troops. So it actually gives you an interesting perspective on how the mentality of the people change when the body is less important than the machinery that they're using. So the guns and the armor and stuff become more valuable commodity than the actual person's body.
Plus, do they keep their memory of what happened?
Well, that's just that they have a tapper which is grown with them in their arm, which is basically a computer interface in their arm, and the tapper does downloads changes since the person was generated, and those changes then are transmitted back to keep the person updated with their memories as they keep going. But their whole psyche has been downloaded into the system a while ago, and so occasionally if the tapper won't feed back, if they get killed before the tapper can connect, then they'll get reset back to whatever the last time they were stored as. So they'll come out not having the memories and being reset a little bit. In fact, one of the characters in the book doesn't allow them to store her information, and she ends up getting reset from about mid-30s to early 20s, but she's now would be like a captain or a commander or something like that, further up in the ranks. But because now she looks so young, they're not taking her serious anymore, and she's
interesting.
Kind of messed herself up in that process.
You'd also make really good soldiers that way. If you could take your experience to the point of failure and learn from that.
Yeah, it's like that episode Scar from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
On the same note, though, psychologically, I think it'd actually be worse because you're remembering how you died. And some of the discussions about how they die in these books is a little bit. The discussion itself is not so much graphic, but the method that they're talking about, like being eaten to death by another alien race,
traumatic.
Yeah, you can. So it's.
Maybe they just cut off the last few minutes. Like he doesn't need to remember feeling his intestines come out.
Yes, that was actually one of the things, like them eating your intestines while you're still alive or something like that. Yeah.
The most horrifying
for grossing everybody out here.
I ever read was the Scott Sigler.
We're going to say it on the show.
Well, Scott Sigler, when he wrote stories about like these nanobots that take over people's bodies and turn them basically into zombies, but their conscious mind is still active while their body is doing things to their friends and families that are just horrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to read that. I was going to say, that sounds really close to
you can listen to it. He has podcasts.
That sounds really close to the movie and the book The Host, which is done by
Stephanie Meyer.
Yeah, and that was actually, I thought that was a really, really good book.
I liked the movie too.
I wasn't as big on the movie as the book.
I've only seen it once though, so I must not have liked it that much.
The movie wasn't bad. It was just the book was so much more better than it. It's one of those where if I wouldn't have read the book first, I probably would have enjoyed the movie a lot more. But because I've read the book,
you don't want
just didn't come close.
Don't ruin a movie with the book.
It wasn't a bad movie. It's just the book was so much more. Anyway, sorry. That's my consumption.
All right.
Awesome.
Ever since we got that silly Harry Potter game, we have not been watching much. But we're like, we need to watch these movies again. So we've watched the first 5.5
Harry Potter
movies.
He's obsessed.
The game is so fun.
It is. It is. When I bought the game, we went good 3 months without doing anything but playing the game.
Yeah, we've actually started playing it where we each play 2 characters.
I actually would play the game by myself with all 4 characters just to see how the characters played, figure out what the strategies were.
Yeah, it's a lot harder with more.
When you get all 4 characters, the game gets harder because it takes longer for individual decks to start developing power.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a lot more cards that take hearts from everyone than there are that give hearts to everyone.
Yeah,
so.
Healing becomes an issue. When you play with 4 people, Neville becomes terribly important.
Yeah. That's all I've been doing.
Oh goodness, I've got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
So I watched I'm not sure what to call it.
It's a TV
It's
show?
6 episodes.
Movie. Miniseries?
But they combined it into like one
stimulating
movie.
pictograph.
But they had like just like which episode it was before each broken down section. It only turned out to be less than an hour long. It's called Journey Quest. It's really weird. It got lots of good reviews and lots of bad reviews. It's very much like I felt like we could film it.
Let's do it. Oh.
But it was entertaining. I watched the whole thing. It was funny. So there's like a lady's an elf. There's a knight that has like head injuries, so he's just wants to kill everything.
So that's
and
the
then
view of
there's
that's the DVD of
and
the
there's
show.
a cleric that was healing people, but then he got killed.
Oh.
And they
That's
have a
good.
wizard that's a really bad wizard. Like he
Mr.
went to
Cold.
attack somebody and like made milk come out of his hands or something.
Yeah,
all
that
over
sounds
again.
like Mr. Cold.
And then there's orcs.
It's LFG.
Thanks.
I was gonna say it no matter what he
I
said
know.
next. Just happened to be orcs.
I was the next person in line.
That's funny.
But anyways, check it out. It's on Amazon.
Journey Quest.
Journey Quest.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then I sat and watched all of the Jack Ryan teaser trailers on Amazon. They're coming out with the TV show in 2018 with
Yes, I've heard about that.
John Krasinski.
Yep.
Looks awesome. And the teaser trailers are like
Little bits.
maybe 15 seconds sometimes. They're really like vague.
They just show action shots.
Or different words.
I think that was the perfect character choice for that, though.
Yeah, I think he's gonna
John
get it.
Krasinski for Jack Ryan. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it for Mr. Clark.
I recently just watched 13 Hours again, and I thought he did a really good job in that.
Yeah, he was good in that. I don't know if I can watch that one again. A lot of those I enjoy watching them.
That's John Krasinski. Yeah, I can see
You know who
that.
his wife is, right?
Yeah,
Emily
it's
Blunt?
Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
It says right there.
Married in
the
2010.
girl from
She from-
Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
movie is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I
I've
bought
only
that
seen
movie.
it once,
and
but I think about it frequently. Like I haven't
It's
seen
only
that
I
yet.
watched it a bunch of times.
It's-
Not just because
it's like the newest. It's like the best replacement for Groundhog
Groundhog
Day.
Day,
Because
yeah.
I'll sit down and I'll play Minecraft and I'll play that
they should have had a groundhog in it, just as like a
either the
Easter egg.
Live,
had
Die,
a
and Repeat,
groundhog driving one of the military trucks by, and like just in the background. It'd be hilarious.
And then a red setter runs by.
or at least some Puxatawny reference.
Right.
Yeah,
Like instead of being from Science Hill, Kentucky, it should have been from Puxatawny.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
that would be funny.
Then I finished the 10-star show. That was really good. It has Tim
Burton.
somebody. No, Tim. I can't remember his name.
Toolman Taylor.
I have a really bad name for memories.
Well, let's.
Tim Allen?
No. Tim Roth.
Oh.
Is that David Lee's brother?
I don't know. Let's see
Who's
the
Tim
picture of him. There's Tim Roth.
Oh.
Yeah.
That guy's good.
Yeah, he was.
He's the,
it's
was he
a
in The
very-
Mentalist or something like that?
He was in a show like that. But it's very interesting. He plays a police officer from England that moves his family to Canada to get away from something that is bad or whatever. But it kind of catches up to him back in England or back in Canada because the police chief there. There's flawed characters everywhere. Like it's not bad character, but all the characters are flawed. And all of them get their comeuppance pretty much in different ways throughout the whole show.
Well, he's in the reboot of Twin Peaks.
That's pretty good. So there was, lots of psychological, crazy stuff happening.
I was
Kinda
thinking
like
I
of
spent a lot
a
of time like
TV show Lie to Me is what I was thinking of.
yeah, and characters like are faced with something like how would I act to react in that situation? But it was. I thought it was really well acted. I thought the writing was good. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
And then I didn't put it on there, but I watched the first episode, first 90% of the first episode of Colony.
Oh, that's
90% of the first episode?
Yes.
Quitter.
I had to go to football practice. I started this other show called...
I feel it's interesting that you'll actually figure out the percentage of what you've watched.
Well, there's 5 minutes left in a 50-minute show. 90%, right?
I guess I should be happy that you just said 90% instead of like 91.34%.
Yeah, I didn't have my calculator with me.
Well, actually, if you count that.
What was it? It's called like...
If you remove the credits, we're really only at about 87.6.
There's another one I didn't... I put on because I thought it might be stupid and boring, and it kind of was. And I don't want to take a nap on the couch because I really enjoy sleeping, but I don't want to ruin a good movie.
So I actually have a hard time with like my Netflix account suggesting me new stuff because I've watched the comic book series stuff like Luke Cage and stuff like that. That's all it will suggest now is to watch more stuff.
Don't watch
that.
an anime.
Oh.
I mean, to watch what? I watched Attack on Titan, which I really liked, and then it's like that's all I would.
Yeah, once you watch one Netflix show that Netflix has produced, that's all they'll recommend is more Netflix shows.
I feel like half my family just gets on and just hits OK to whichever person it is, and then they'll watch all kinds of weird stuff on mine. I'm like, I didn't watch this, and I don't watch this.
And therein lies my other problem is my roommate has been watching a lot of stuff under my account, and so his taste is considerably different than my taste.
You can set up different...
I have, but to log out of my older TV, which is the one that we ended up bringing back out so we could play Minecraft on the newer TV. The older TV, logging out and logging back into Netflix or Amazon is a painful process because they're smart TVs.
Oh, most of the Netflix apps now just has different profiles now.
Yes, but still logging out and back in through that TV is painful because the TV interface isn't nearly as user-friendly as the newer smart TVs are.
Yeah.
It's really easy on mine.
Yeah.
My PlayStation is pretty easy.
My problem is that you'll go back and you go to the log out, and instead of switching the user, it logs you completely out, and you have to log back in to switch to the user.
That's dumb.
Very much.
Your TV sucks.
Oh, and then I've been reading...
That's why I bought a new one, which ended up becoming the Minecraft TV.
Now,
it's permanently attached to my computer now.
I can tell you this because it tells me that 22% of Frankenstein. The original.
Oh, you're reading the novel.
Yeah.
The Bela Lugosi?
No, it's written by...
it's a novel.
What's her lady?
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley.
Yeah, there we go.
She had a rough life, by the way. She lost multiple children to death and different things. And her husband...
No, you know what? She came up with Frankenstein.
No, it was before all that, actually. That she came up with that. There was a competition amongst a bunch of friends. In fact, her husband was a famous writer, too, I think.
Yes, he was.
And they had a competition to see who could write the scariest novel over the summer.
I think she lost.
I think she won.
Oh.
It's not really scary, though. It's weird reading the books, older books.
Yeah, they're
because when they first introduced the monster, it was just like another throwaway sentence, like no change in tone or anything.
Society and stuff have developed so much that what we expect, the lead-ins and stuff like that, and our storytelling has improved so much over the years that I have a hard time going back and reading the classics. Like To Kill a Mockingbird, I was like, that book wasn't really that special to me. But I guess at the time it was just considerably different.
Try reading Wuthering Heights.
No,
I read it.
I tried reading Tale of Two Cities and I couldn't get too.
Somebody told me that War and Peace is really good, actually.
I read Tale of Two Cities.
I kept falling asleep. I think I was just tired at the time, but once I start falling asleep,
it's definitely slow.
I have a hard time getting, and slow is a hard time.
Well, once they start cutting everybody's heads off, it gets pretty decent.
Are you sure you're watching A Tale of Two Cities instead of The Tale of Twin Peaks?
Isn't that the one about the French Revolution?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't get that far?
No, I got like barely through the first page, and I fell asleep.
I
have a hard time with books like that. If it doesn't catch my interest right away.
I was doing a mashup of weird books.
Yeah, I got it.
You read what? Don Johnson?
Yeah. Miami Vice is awesome.
The new one or the old one?
There's a new one?
Isn't there a new one?
Like for the last 3 years.
Is there?
Yeah.
Miami Vice?
Doesn't that have one of the guys from Lost?
What?
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking Hawaii Five-0.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
No, I think
they might have a new
They made a movie. I saw the movie.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of.
That was like in 2008 or something. Oh, 2006. I was way off.
Oh yeah, it was a movie.
That was a good show, though. I like that show. I also liked, what was that one that took place in the South? It was like a police force in the heat of the night.
Oh, In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, I like that one.
Took place in the South. There's a police force, which is really weird for the South. So they don't normally have police forces down there. They just have sheriffs that are
They do.
chasing after Trans Ams crossing the country.
Just two good old boys. Never mean no harm. That's the ringtone for my middle son when he calls me.
So one of my nicknames that I ended up with at work was Cooter.
Right.
And
But there's a character on.
which is character on the Dukes of Hazzard, yes, and that's where the name came from. But there's also another derogatory meaning for that word, and their younger crowd doesn't know about Dukes of Hazzard and the characters in it, and so they all thought the other person was calling me the derogatory term.
They were offended for you.
So now I'm the engineer formerly known as Cooter.
Let's have a symbol next.
I'm gonna have to, yeah. I'm gonna be careful though, because most symbols are gonna be offensive to somebody.
Especially if it's Dukes of Hazzard related.
If anything, I'll probably just do the.
I had Dukes of Hazzard poster as a kid.
But that'll mess up all the Grindable people. But
oh.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. I had Daisy's Jeep. In fact, I think I still have Daisy's Jeep and one of the Dukes of Hazzard cars. And
she's been looking for it, so you might want to.
And
Uncle Jesse.
And I had the Cadillac.
He was the original Uncle Jesse. Before Full House.
Yeah, the original Uncle Jesse.
Not much of a singer.
I can't believe you brought up Full House.
What? I grew up in that era when that was on TGIF.
Yeah, but why did you bring that up?
Did I do that?
You know they rebooted that show, right?
I know.
Fuller House.
My wife loves it.
I guess it's somewhat.
It's not good. I was like, so none of these people's marriages survived? Weird.
Welcome to America.
It's not like their dad was divorced. He was a widower or something. Right?
Yeah, he was widowed. And then...
All right, enough Full House. Cut it out.
And for those of us that are watching by video, that was the...
Oh, man. All right, let's end consumption.
How do you do a backwards cough?
Like a hiccup or something? Just swallowed a bug.
Something like a pig.
Maybe that's what hiccuping is.
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
No. Because a hiccup is a different muscles contracting.
Actually.
Looks like trying to have any muscles contract.
All right, our next segment is Nerd Cred.
I've got some.
Okay.
I usually go last.
Okay. Well, I actually called somebody out at work for saying actually and correcting something. I was like, did you just actually me? Like, how nerdy are you? It was funny. That was after I made fun of his school.
I do that all the time,
team.
but I don't say actually. I don't actually say actually.
I said, oh, your team's playing a team that's only 1-5. And he's like, oh, so we'll win? I was like, no, they're favored by 15 points. He's like, oh, it's a real football team. It's like, yeah, they're playing an SEC team.
That's funny.
He went to the University of Idaho.
I was a bigger man this week and did not go talk to the young engineer that was talking smack football to me.
Oh, that's a...
Yeah. I wanted to put his team's logo and put like, was it UCLA beat him? Or Cal?
It was Cal.
It was Cal. And then put like a little trademark symbol of Cal, like they were owned by Cal. But I didn't.
Now I really want to know what you're talking about here. It's not very often that people will offend DVD at work, and so it's interesting. I don't know if it's just Kashi talking, but it's interesting when he gets spun up that you really want to find out exactly why.
I don't really go bashing other people's teams in front of them with my team or whatever, but other people sometimes feel that's appropriate to do to me.
Well,
especially when I'm the one paying them that day.
It's because it's colloquially accepted as a thing to talk smack back and forth now in sports or with sports. So.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Well, personally, I don't do it because I know eventually comeuppance comes around. And
Yes, and you are right. And the comeuppance has come around a few times for most people.
I don't actually contribute to the team winning or losing.
Actually.
But when you come up and you're talking about how we beat you guys, I was like, we were up by 21 points and you guys had a punt that hit our blocker, so it was like luck.
Yeah.
So, all right. Then I just say count the
new engineer, huh?
New or 6 bowls or
how new?
It was a young one.
Not a new, but a young.
Young.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
That's all I
Oh,
have.
that's all you have?
I
You didn't nerd out much? No
I'm
nerding?
proud of you because I wouldn't have just unleashed on him. Good job.
Other people,
I'm going to give you an award.
Thank you.
I was going to shake your hand, but I guess we're just going to be weird
I
about
thought
it.
you were handling it like a fake award.
a snow globe. He's giving you a snow globe.
Snow globe. Anyways, I feel like sometimes it's like taking candy from a baby if I actually unleashed on these people, some of them, because I'm like, I don't think they'd get it.
Is there any place around here where you can make your own snow globes?
I have no idea.
I have a make your own snow globe thing that I got at a conference.
I have a glow snow.
I wonder if there's a website where you can make your own snow globe and have them send it to your house.
I'm sure there is.
Man, that would be awesome.
Or you could start one.
Make some snow globes with various things.
I think there was a famous person that makes snow globes. I can't remember who it is though.
They were interviewed on Adam
Yeah, that's what I heard about
like a couple years ago.
So apparently I have a bad name for memories, but I have access to some other memories that
You did it again, by the way.
I know I'm doing it on purpose now.
Alright, so what's your nerd cred?
So I got a couple. I wore my Darcy Weisbach shirt to football practice, and I had like half the team come up and ask me at different points. What's that? It's like, well, if you're a civil engineer, you find it amusing. It's like,
It's the equation for
I thought
fluid
your
flow.
name was such and such, not Darcy Weisbach. It's like,
My alter
this
ego.
is Darcy, this is Weisbach.
They
Darcy came up with an equation, and then Weisbach
Empirical.
modified it to make it better because he's German, and that's
It's an
what you do.
empirical equation, right?
I think so. For pipe flow,
Fluid flow equations usually are.
which we
empirical.
voted on in my office, and that's the day we came up with, and I made the T-shirt, which I'm wearing, with Darcy and Weisbach
Was that
boxing each other.
a football team or a
It's
softball
actually
team,
a ski to sea team, so it's a multi-leg race where you start downhill skiing, then cross-country skiing, and then a bike course like
That
40
is not what I
miles,
thought he meant by multi-leg race.
and then
I
canoe.
was
I did
Most
a canoe.
people have more than one leg.
Most of the legs of the race are a single person, but I was involved in the one that had two people.
I was
Like the
picturing like
canoe
a
race?
three-legged race.
And then it goes from the canoe to mountain biking, so it's like a 10-mile mountain
I don't
10
think
mile.
three-legged race with skis is
And
going to
then ends with a
work.
sea
A big pile
kayak.
of skis at the bottom, people all tied together and screaming in pain.
It was fun.
I-
Actually, we were
I'm sure it was.
we were sitting around waiting for the race to start. Me and my friend Harry, who was my co-canoer, and somebody came up and introduced themselves, whose last name was Weisbach.
Really?
And the dude was ancient. I thought it might have been the Weisbach. He was like 90.
Was he German?
Yeah, it was.
Did he come up and say, "Oh, hi,
It was weird.
I
was
can't do
like-
German. I know you guys are probably just do."
I think I actually looked at my shirt and looked at him like, no, not quite the same.
Really, you did that?
But it has nicknames for all the competitors, and so one of the kids like, Coach, you look like a barracuda. It's like, but that's a water animal and it's a canoe, so it just makes sense.
Ooh,
Oh, and then I had another one of the people in our office, another person the same name as me.
There's a lot of those.
Oh, did you see the new Star Wars trailer? And then I kind of went off on like a 10-minute in-depth explanation about how Star Wars tends to have arcs that parallel each other and what I thought. And he just kind of stood there and looked at
We
me
have
the
to
whole
be
time.
careful. I haven't actually watched the trailer yet.
Anyway,
I haven't either.
we could watch it after this. We guys.
Although we talked about it last week in the show.
But there's yeah, I kind of nerded out on it a little bit. I think I looked over to what's her name over by the window, and she's like, they were like, "What are you doing to that poor kid right now?"
Slow down.
What? I'm nerding out. And then, I've been thinking about what I'm going to write for NaNoWriMo this year. If I
It's
do
coming
it.
up.
I thought about doing a Minecraft NaNoWriMo where I play the
Oh.
game and then have like my character, the stuff I go through, building a house and playing other stuff. It could be stuff that the character in the book does.
You do realize that by playing the game, you're not going to be writing the book.
I need to do that now beforehand and take notes. And then,
You haven't played it in forever.
I know, that's why it'd be interesting to start like a fresh area or something.
You have yet to tell me what you think of my dragons.
Oh, you made dragons. I'll have to go check it out. Well, that's why I try to get in there. My computer is lagging because the kids virused it
They're
up.
at your house.
Oh, they're at my house.
Yes, they're under the Capitol.
Oh, cool. That'll be cool. I'll go check it out.
We'll run around the Capitol until you find the dragons.
All right. I'll have to get on my laptop in here to do it because I need to just scrub clean my old computer. I was trying to even because I think it's my account because it's the administrator that's corrupted. And so I tried to go. I can't even click on the start button. I click on the start button, nothing happens. And so I go
to wipe the whole thing.
When I first log in, it just has a black screen with a cursor for like half an hour. But I figured I can Control Alt Delete and run new task, and then I can type in what program I want to run and bring stuff up that way.
I just went because is it Windows 10?
Yeah.
I just went and did a wipe where it keeps all your files but deletes all the
that's a good
apps
idea.
and everything.
Do you have to download?
And it's working a lot better.
No, it's under one of the restore programs.
It's built into like the control panel.
If I can get to it, I have to type in Control Panel into the run program, even if I get my desktop up, which is corrupted, so it comes into stock Windows one.
Yeah, you might have to get a boot disk just to get to it, but
I've been trying to go delete that account and create a new one, and that stuff wasn't working for me. It's like whatever virus is on there keeps you from doing things that saves your computer. And if I didn't actually log off, I just walked away from it last night. I came back and there was like 20 windows trying to go to this ad web page or something. I was like,
That
what in the window? Yeah.
Definitely got a virus.
Yep.
Cut that out.
Kids that just go all over the place. And,
keyboard.
And I guess that's my nerd cred. So yeah, I guess that's a good idea for writing a book.
So yeah, and just I might actually take you up on your NaNoWriMo thing this year.
You should do it. My other thoughts on a book was taking last year's pictures I drew, so I drew one per day, and using those as like a writing tool and have like a book of short stories based on those writing.
A story for each one of the pictures for each day. I think that would be cool. I actually do.
I think that'd be fun.
Especially since the pictures you drew were based on something that happened in your life, and now you're going to create a different story for that picture.
So it's like a
illustrations. And then next year, and then December.
Then I should draw pictures based on the novel.
Yeah.
Some are going to be interesting to try to figure out. But I thought I like stuff that interests me.
Really?
Unless you're going to have to spend a bunch writing about it.
Like things that are boring.
And I've heard that some tautologies are true.
I like tautologies. I don't get them. Anyway, sounds fun to me.
Yeah. For show.
Should I do it this year?
Oh, and your team you coach made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, our Pee Wee football team is in the playoffs, and we have.
I don't think that's nerd cred though.
No,
but that's cred. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
It's awesome. So this is my ultimate year of coaching. Because I'm not going to. Once my son's aged out and goes to high school,
I'm not going to giving yourself concussions.
I'm not going to coach anymore, probably, because I can't envision myself sacrificing time with the rest of my family or with him even to coach other people's kids. Although it is very satisfying and fulfilling.
I could actually see you being a coach because you really do enjoy coaching.
So, I do,
and I barely even like my own kids.
I hope they don't watch the show.
But it's weird because before our last game, if we didn't win that game, we might not have made the playoffs. And I was like, well, okay, if we don't make the playoffs, it's fine. I have my evenings free and whatnot. But we won that game in a dominant fashion, and I want that trophy now. I want that trophy. I want for my last year of coaching for us to be hoisting that trophy at the end of the year.
That would be sweet.
It would be so sweet.
Have you seen that commercial where the talking about airline tickets, and the coach is like, I believe in you so much, I haven't even bought return tickets or bought the tickets to take us all the way to the thing, and they come back 5 minutes later, he's like, and they've lost the game, and he's like, oh, no, I'm going to buy tickets. The commercial's quite funny. Sorry.
Sounds like it. Okay, our final segment is feedback.
We have feedback.
We got a bunch.
Really?
So we got an email from Master Zed. Some of us saw him last weekend, but he wanted to talk to DVD about his concussion.
Oh, good.
He wants to know if they did a CAT scan to make sure you don't have any swelling or bleeding in your brain holes.
They did not.
Okay, well, he had a concussion playing rugby, and he now wears a cap. So
they talked about giving me one of those if I coach next year.
A scrum cap?
Well, they have the caps like that, but for the flag football team.
Oh,
which funny story. We heard from our flag football coach that's the younger than D string, so it's like really small kids. The other team actually stopped the game and forfeited because our players were too rough.
Oh.
Quit playing.
So the whole point of the flag football team is not to score more touchdowns. It's just to be rough enough to get the other team to quit.
I guess.
Apparently.
I thought that was hilarious. The
Oh.
South kids are too rough. We used
Well,
to have a
flag
slogan.
football can almost be more dangerous
Right.
than anything else.
Well, we had a slogan for a while that was like, "We bring the pain, you bring the excuses." It was on our T-shirts and stuff.
That's what my wife's sweatshirt says.
We've actually heard from other coaches with our team even that some of the kids are afraid, their skill positions, to run certain stuff because we hit hard.
Good. He also
That's the point of football, isn't it?
was
Used to
talking
be.
about oil changes. He has that big diesel truck.
Oh,
He
all
said
changes.
it takes 3 3/4 gallons of oil.
Holy,
I cannot even
that's like
imagine.
that's 15 quarts.
It's a diesel, right? Big diesel.
It's a big, like, I think it's a V10.
Oh, is it a V10? I thought it was a diesel.
It's a V10 diesel.
Oh.
And it's large. Yeah. And, so my pickup,
Man,
I thought I was
wonder
going
what
to
an oil change costs on that thing.
a lot. I was talking to him when we were looking
Does it get synthetic?
to get our pickup that we're discussing getting a diesel, and I talked to him. He was like, it's really expensive to do maintenance. And my wife didn't really want a diesel anyway, so we went with gas. But
I have a question about diesel trucks.
okay.
Do you think it's a good idea if you're going to go pick up takeout at a Chinese food place to just pull up on the curb 5 feet from their door and let your diesel engine idle there while you're going in and out of the door?
I don't know
while
if you've
people are inside
noticed
eating?
this or not, but people
No.
that drive diesels don't understand diesel smell.
Well, I think just people in general are inconsiderate nowadays. So,
Well, that is definitely true.
update on my new pickup. I got it to where I was turning the engine over to get it to start for the first time since I got it, and gas pretty much was coming out of everywhere on the carburetor. So I've got a carburetor rebuild kit coming tomorrow from Canada. So
you've got your fuel tank float fixed and everything is put back in.
well, the fuel tank float isn't quite fixed, but I'm gonna drive it with no gas gauge until I fix that. I haven't decided.
But you're not going to drive around using the 2-gallon gas can.
No, I'm gonna drive it to the gas station and fill it up.
He's going to
That's not what I
dump
meant.
fuel in the top of the carburetor and go as far as
I was
it'll-
watching the episode, and everything I could get out of it is you're going to put the seat forward, put the 2-gallon gas can behind it, plumb it straight into the gas line, and drive around that.
He's just going to get a really, really big battery and then just drive it with the starter.
So
That's really bad for your starter. I was watching a YouTube video, and it was a guy, and he had just like rebuilt this carburetor, it was showing how to like clean a carburetor, and he goes and he's trying to start it, and he's just like cranking it, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna destroy your starter. You gotta give it a break every few seconds. Like, you don't just sit there and crank for like a minute.
why? You don't know. Starters are designed to be run continuously.
Maybe it was the fastest
No, they
car ever
aren't.
made. Was it a
Come
rental
on!
car?
Every time I've taken a starter off, I've seen the heat dissipation fins, the cooling system, the water jacket around the electric. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm thinking of completely other things.
Overclocked.
They do have liquid cooled alternators now. Bosch came out with those like 20 years ago.
I think Master Zed's truck has
That's
for a starter.
crazy.
It has like a Geo Metro engine.
You start that, and then it starts the diesel.
I actually saw it. I've told the story I think before, but this guy was staying on his couch when I was homeless in Portland. But he had a Geo Metro and he was doing maintenance on it. Had the hood open. I walked past. Was like, why do you have 2 alternators? It's my engine.
Why does the alternator have an
It had a
alternator
3-cylinder
on it?
in it.
Yeah.
3-cylinder.
That's all you need.
Yeah, if your car weighs 800 pounds.
So you were staying on his couch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The first part didn't make sense to me. He was staying on his couch while you were homeless.
Was the couch in
I
the
was
Geo
homeless.
Metro?
was not.
Oh, okay. So,
It was one of my now wife's high school friends.
Yeah. No.
They'd gotten married or something, which was fun when I was staying on their couch because they were letting me for the summer, and then they started having marital problems. and then they'd lock the door, and if I got back after 8, I couldn't get in, so they wouldn't give me a key.
Yeah.
After the first time, I left the blanket in my car, so at least I had something.
Did you have a pillow in your car?
No.
So Master Zen was up here last Saturday.
Yes, I
not
missed his-
here in our town, but
Missed
nearby,
his game.
and to play rugby. And so we went over for that.
He
And
said his game was around noonish, so he finally said the time is like 2:45. I was like,
Well, there was 2 games.
that's not noonish.
Yes, there were 2 games.
The first game started
Oh,
at
okay.
like 1, and
they
he
didn't do
played towards the end of it.
Well, our football game was delayed so long that
Oh.
it's funny when you have more than the normal practice before the game because the games before yours are going so long.
Yeah. Well, see, I was at first thinking, well, if he's not going to play much the first game, I'll just show up for the second game. Then I was like, wait a minute, Charlie's going to be there.
Yeah. So
And if he's not playing, then we can hang out with him. So I was like, well, let's go for the first game too. But then my son had a birthday party, so we didn't get there till the first game was already started. But it was fun to watch. And then he got to play, and he got a really awesome try. And then my 5-year-old was playing by some rocks and moved a rock, and a swarm of hornets came out and attacked him. And we must have killed like 30 hornets. Yeah. Luckily,
Did he get stung?
luckily he was wearing a jacket with the hood up, and they couldn't sting him through that. Or his pants were kind of baggy, so he got one sting on his thumb. And then my wife got stung on the leg. But we were like just standing there, just like killing hornets for like, it seemed like forever. They just kept coming.
Wow.
Like we moved him away from the rocks, but they just followed in a swarm, and
Yeah,
they
do
were
that.
all over my wife, my daughter, my son. We were just killing them. And then his thumb started swelling up, and we were like, okay, we're gonna go. So we went to a clinic, and they're like, well, we wouldn't really do anything besides give him Benadryl, and if you're really worried about it, you can go to an emergency room. We're like, well, we're just gonna go get Benadryl. And that actually, within like 10 minutes of giving him Benadryl, the swelling went down really fast, and he was fine after that. So
I always think Benadryl as far as sinus allergies. I don't think about it for other allergies like food allergies and wasp things or anything like that.
yeah.
Which I was really surprised when the movie Hitch, when he was quote unquote having his seafish,
Shellfish.
seafish.
Shellfish allergy.
I have a seafish
The landfish ones are worse.
The shellfish allergy his everything was all
It
swollen
was
up.
funny.
He's drinking the Benadryl. He's like,
That was probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
then
don't remember the rest of it. So
on the way
guess it
home, I
was-
suggested we watch My Girl, but that got shut down. You see My Girl?
with Macaulay Culkin.
It's been a long
He
time.
gets stung to death by bees.
He dies in it?
Yeah,
Oh, that one. That is
with Dan Aykroyd
not-
and Jamie Lee Curtis.
All those people are in that?
Yeah,
was the first one that he died in.
Is
Yeah.
it the beginning of the movie or?
no,
Because there was a.
near the end.
I forgot that he got
That
killed in
sounds
the
sad.
movie.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
sad.
not gonna watch it.
My
should
Girl
watch
2. There was a My Girl 2 that wasn't too bad either.
I don't know if I've seen
The
that.
third one is her girl.
Yeah, but that was Dan Aykroyd. Wasn't he? Was he a
He was
preacher?
No, he
He
was
was
a funeral home.
Mortician.
Oh,
He ran a funeral
Shit.
home.
I know at some TV show or something at one point he played a preacher that was a Harley Davidson driver, and for some reason that's always stuck. You're right. He was a funeral home because that's how he met Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she
She was
she
in
got a
makeup.
job doing makeup,
Oh,
and then
is it Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, Jamie Lee
yeah,
Curtis.
and then Macaulay Culkin dies, and he has to go in the funeral home, and the daughter is freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a really good movie. I've seen it within the last couple of years, so.
I feel like that actress should.
Veda.
Yeah, I think I've seen her in something else before.
is she a fish?
You have the no. She's not a beta. She's a
Oh,
beta.
she's a beta.
She's a beta. She's Vader's
In
illegitimate
the
child.
garden of Beta.
Anna Chlumsky.
Anna Chomsky.
Chlumsky.
Yeah.
She's from My Girl. Oh,
My girl too.
Go to her IMDb.
MDib.
She actually looks very much like she did in the show.
yeah.
Like,
You can tell it's her.
Yeah, she definitely looks the same.
Known for Veep,
Not seen that
the
one.
end of the tour, In the Loop.
Nope.
Oh, she was in
Nope.
'Halt and Catch Fire.
In a
Robot
TV
Chicken,
show
there you
this
go.
year. Hey, yeah, everybody's in that.
I've never seen that one. Hannibal. Love it. A plan
didn't see
comes
Hannibal.
Bert and
together.
Ernie's Guide to Friendship. That's creepy sounding.
Yeah, I don't see much on here that I've seen.
Law and Order.
Everybody's
too.
been in Law and Order.
Well, it's
Cupid.
it's
What's
CIS
that
and
about?
stuff. Cupid?
Anyways,
Cupid.
I don't think that's pronounced Cupid.
so we didn't
Third
watch
Rock.
we didn't watch My Girl after that, but
I think it's pronounced Cupide.
Cupid.
we were all traumatized. We also got an email from Dad. He sent an article called Army Wants to 3D Print Soldiers Food. It's a Business Insider. But I've seen articles about this. So basically, you have the basic constituents of nutrition, and the 3D printer can make it look like anything. But
So you can make it look like your stripes. So if you get hungry, you just.
yeah, you can have edible
Oh, now I'm only
patches. Oh, I was a
Oh,
master sergeant.
That's
Now I'm
what
just a
makes the sergeant. I got hungry.
is this company run by the same people that make the edible overalls?
Yes.
They could have like chiclets for their
Yeah.
bars.
So the
They
important
really will have scrambled eggs on their hat.
the important thing about this is that you could tailor the nutrition to the individual soldier and print off just what they
Graham
need.
cracker body armor.
Yeah, because the American public needs to pay for individual nutritional monitor systems for each individual soldier.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Oh, I
just
suppose
the
if they
ones
ship
that we
them
like.
So they want to figure out what makes them angry and irritable, and then that's what you give them. Just when they're going into battle.
Yeah.
Our Pinterest board got liked by MM Supreme One. So
You actually have a Pinterest board now?
yeah, it's got a G.I. Joe thing that people like.
Well, I know I had that one thing from a while ago.
We're almost done.
Yeah, probably.
And we got a tweet from Rob,
That's tweet. That's him.
one of our UK listeners, that DVD is too
I'm
quiet.
too quiet.
It's a tweet.
It's not my fault.
The next mixer we get, I'm going to get one that can put out each individual channel.
That would be good.
So then I can turn you up in post. Because right now it's all one channel and I can't do much with it.
He's going to separate.
Otherwise, he's going to hook me to a
He's going to
post.
segregate you from the rest of us.
And Neil Orangepeel sent us a commercial for the Action Man, the Eagle Eye Action Man action figure. And it's
moving
creepy
eyes.
because it keeps zooming in on the action figure's face and his eyes move back and
I
forth.
actually don't think it was that creepy. I mean, it actually looked relatively
If you
normal.
change the music in the background.
Yeah, so you changed the background music.
It was just weird. It was, yeah.
It was probably
funny.
creepier if you didn't have the sound on.
So I had some good laughs about that. But
But the cool
I
part about it
chortled.
is like from early 70s. So it looks like it's from the 70s even.
yeah.
Is there a version of G.I. Joe look like?
Yeah.
Action Man.
Action Man.
The British, right?
And it comes with different outfits so you can dress him up.
For a lot of action. The generic
I'm
nature
gonna go
of the
get some
commercial
action.
is actually the funniest part about the whole thing.
That was edible overalls.
Overall.
If you want to contact us, send an email to engineerdyshow@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Enginerdy Show. Support the show by telling your friends about it. Get us some more listeners. And go to engineerdyshow.com where you can find the Amazon link to do your Amazon shopping. You're probably going to do some Christmas shopping.
Halloween shopping.
I've got a couple kids' birthdays coming
Thanksgiving
up.
shopping.
I pretty much buy everything anymore through Amazon.
Yeah, it's.
I want to start planning for Columbus Day shopping for next year.
I'm disappointed because I've been buying a lot of car parts online lately, and it's like if I can't find it on Amazon, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Now I got to go to some other website and pay for shipping.
I don't buy it if I can't find it on Amazon. Brakes,
Well-
you name it. I get it all through Amazon.
Yeah, there's.
But then again, I'm not rebuilding older stuff like you are.
Yeah. Somebody was like, yeah, I ordered this thing. I had to
You
pay.
should buy a dugout canoe on Amazon.
I had to pay
That'd be funny.
shipping, and it's coming. And somebody's like, why didn't you just buy it from the auto parts store? It's like, oh,
Can you buy your poison darts?
I
on
didn't even
Amazon?
think about that. Anyways, thank you for listening this week. Stay nerdy.
Do you have a sign off thing you do?
Merry Christmas.
You told me you killed him. That's my new one.
He told